Everyone saw the dust rise before they heard the shouting. But no one expected the colonel's hand to clamp around her collar like a vice. Private Liana Drew had only been on base for 3 weeks when the moment that would expose everything unfolded in front of the barracks courtyard, bright daylight pouring down, the sun sharp on polished boots and tense faces. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. The confrontation happened fast. 1 second, Liana was walking across the training square, clutching a stack of reports. The next, Colonel Harland, towering red-faced and breathing like a freight train, yanked her collar so hard her feet scraped across the gravel. Gasps rippled through the courtyard as soldiers turned, freezing mid-step, unsure whether to intervene or stay silent. She felt the grit of dust cling to her throat, felt her pulse hammer against the colonel's knuckles. Her first thought wasn't fear. It was disappointment. Not again, not another superior who thinks force means authority. "Where do you think you're going, Private?" he growled, leaning so close she smelled the bitter coffee on his breath. A few soldiers stepped back. Others whispered. The base, usually humming with midday drills, shifted to a stunned, uneasy quiet. Even the flags overhead barely moved, as if holding their breath. Liana steadied her voice. "Sir, you're hurting me." He tightened his grip. "Maybe that's the point." A murmur swept through the gathering crowd, anger, disbelief, discomfort. Some of them had seen Harlan snap before. But this? A young soldier. In broad daylight. With everyone watching, she thought she'd stay silent. She thought she'd let it pass. She was wrong. A sharp tremor ran through her hand, not fear, but resolve. Liana wasn't just a new recruit. She had spent years in rescue units overseas before transferring here. She'd seen men twice Harlan's size crumble during disasters, and she'd learned a truth most never knew: calm is power. She lifted her chin. "Sir, release me now." Something in her tone shifted the air. Even the colonel paused, momentarily thrown off balance by her steady gaze. For a heartbeat, the whole courtyard felt suspended, light shimmering off metal railings, dust swirling like soft haze around their boots. Then he shoved her back. She stumbled, reports scattered across the ground like fallen feathers. Before anyone could react, she moved, not with aggression, but precision. She stepped forward, placed one hand flat on her chest, and raised her voice so every soldier could hear. "Colonel Harland, I am officially reporting your conduct. You assaulted a subordinate in public view. All of these soldiers are witnesses." The crowd stirred. Some straightened their backs. A few nodded, Harlan's face drained of color. You think anyone will believe you?" A voice rose from the center of the courtyard. Sergeant Major Ortiz, respected, calm and steady, walked forward. Sunlight glinted off his badge. "I believe her," he said. "And so does everyone standing here." A ripple of strength spread through the ranks. Soldiers stepped closer, not threatening, but unified. A wave of bodies forming a shield around Liana. Boots shifted in coordinated symmetry. Shoulders squared. Dozens of eyes locked on the colonel. Harland froze. His breath hitched. For the first time in years, he seemed small. "Sir," Ortiz continued, "you've crossed a line, and we're filing it. Every one of us." The colonel's legs seemed to weaken. His jaw clenched, then unclenched, desperation flickering behind his eyes. He tried to speak, but no words came out. The weight of daylight, witnesses, and undeniable truth pressed down on him harder than rank ever could. Liana didn't gloat. She simply bent down, gathered her papers calmly, and stood tall again. The courtyard remained silent until Ortiz placed a hand lightly on her shoulder. "Let's go. Justice comes in daylight too." As they walked away, the soldiers parted for her like an honor path. Murmurs rose, not of shock now, but pride. Because courage doesn't shout, it stands. Even when someone tries to tear it down. And sometimes the quietest stand is the one that turns an entire base toward the truth. Because kindness doesn't vanish. It waits, and it finds its way back. And in the bright sun that day, It finally did. Thank you for listening. If this story moved you, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful daytime stories, just like this one.